We live in a world where we're used to being surrounded by products, and sometimes it is very difficult to even think about how would life be without them. Well, before the Industrial Revolution, life was like that. It was the Industrial Revolution that turned the world into what it is right now. It was a period of time in the 18th century when many important inventions were made. Many of these made work easier and cheaper. As these inventions created new manufacturing and industry, people started to move from the farms to the cities. It was a time of very rapid change in the world. In 1712, Thomas Newcomen invented the steam engine. It is not very useful yet, but the idea of using steam to make machines go will be a very important thing to the Industrial Revolution. Sometime later, in 1769, James Watt improved the steam machine, which was a very important invention for the revolution, as it is the engine that started to power the first trains, steamboats, and factories. In 1764, the spinning jenny was invented by James Hargreaves. This machine spins more than one ball of yarn or thread at a time, making it easier and faster to make cloth. Later, in 1846, Elias Howe invented the sewing machine, which turned the creation of clothing to an industry in factories, rather than people doing it at home with their own hands.
The telegraph. The telegraph is a Morse code created by Samuel F.B. Morse, demonstrating a simple but stunning invention in 1837. It was a machine that could send a clicking signal across a wire using his code that related clicking patterns to letters and onto the alphabet. Morse could be transmitted messages wherever they could string his telegraph cable. The new technology was promising to encourage Congress to foot the bill for a test line between Baltimore and Washington in 1843. And within a year that experiment had proved successful, challenge was to cover the country with telegraph cable. Messages in a minute. Before the telegraph, the only way people could communicate with other in distant place was to send the letters to or to travel to meet them. The telegraphs allowed a person to transmit a message over hundreds and eventually thousands of miles in the space of Fairbanks hour. By 1850, there was a telegraph station in the major eastern and Midwest cities. As we see, the telegraph was an early telephone created by Samuel F.B. Morse in those times. In those times, it was a revolution. This invention, since they have problem when communicating with user, and this make it easier. Okay. Among the most significant events of the telegraph was its importance to newspaper. Time and national news coverage was made possible as a newspaper editor from very region. Other countries were able to share stories promptly. Before the telegraph, editors mailed their papers and another allowed stories to be printed liberally. Okay, so as we see, it was a great invention that changed, like, changed in this. Okay, so it make a great change in the regulation for negative, positive because was the first step we use for was the first step we use was the ancestor of the telephones and the email, and was the first step for humans for communicating in a longer distance. And negative is not social negative impact, but it causes a lot of commotion in between the time because it was not normal to see people that live on the other part of the world to start communicating.
So, today I'm going to talk about the positive effects of the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution had a huge impact on factories by bringing the assembly line, which many people work on different tasks. When completed, tasks are put together and there is a finished product. This made producing products a lot easier and faster. And mass production, that is the creation of a lot of products in a short amount of time. Thanks to the machinery, products can be made without as much money. Causes retail price of products to go down, and mass production also leads to an increased supply of goods. Also, one of the Industrial Revolution positive effects were the modern buildings that were constructed. The buildings were positive because they gave homeless people a place to live. Also, they built within walking distance of a factory, but built away from the smoke. They built churches, and architecture was modernized. They built row houses and apartments for people who needed homes when they moved.